James Howlett, aka Logan, better known as Wolverine, has amassed many adversaries throughout his long life. Among them, Callisto, leader of the Morlocks, Jason Wingard, aka Mastermind, one of the original Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, the villainous Cyber, and of course, Arkady Rosevich, better known as Omega Red. This Amazon exclusive 5-pack showcases this rogues gallery of villains, as well as the original Weapon X himself. Let's talk about it.
MBB on the track.
What are party people in the place? I am the ruckus, and these are my toys. On deck is the Amazon exclusive Wolverine 5-pack. And as you can see, it is a big box. I had to play the angle game and try it in order to fit everything in. And you should see what I've got, keeping it propped up on that angle. Anyway, I'll take a close-up of all the individual figures so we can get a better look at them. First up, in the upper left-hand corner, we've got Callisto. She comes with an extra pair of gripping hands, C-grip hands, if you will, and a pair of knives. One of them is a butterfly knife. Next up is Wolverine. He comes shirtless, and he has another head sculpt and a pair of close-fisted hands. Next up, we have Jason Wingard, aka Mastermind. He comes with an additional head sculpt and in his Hellfire attire. It should be noted, it's funny, he's actually got his real face attached to the body in the box, whereas his illusion of Jason Wingard from the Hellfire Club, that's the separate head sculpt. Lower left hand corner, we've got Omega Red. He comes with an additional head sculpt and of course his tentacles. One is shown, the other one, his right side one, you can only see it kind of peeking out from the side there. Finally, we have Cyber, who comes with no accessories. What you see is what you get. And so there it is, a 5-pack in all its glory right there. As you can see, it's a big box. Can't even fit it all in the frame. So I've got the box on an angle just so I can get it all in. So what you see is the 5 figures on full display in the window box. You've got Wolverine, the logo, and then in the lower left-hand corner, or its right, our left, you've got Marvel Legends series logo there, and of course on the right you've got the Hasbro logo. I showed you the back already in my opening, so we'll take a look at the sides. So what we have here is the side of the box. It's the same on both sides, so I'll only go through it one time. At the top there, as you can see, you've got the Marvel Legends series logo, and then you have, in descending order, the characters that are contained within the packaging. So going one by one, you have Wolverine, followed by Cyber. Coming in third is Omega Red. Next up is Callisto. And bringing up the rear, last but certainly not least, is Jason Wingard, aka Mastermind. The top of the packaging has spark varnished Wolverine logo. This is very nice. The interior packaging has got comic book art with Wolverine and all of the foes that are contained in this box set. First up, and I figured we may as well get him out of the way since we have seen him on this body a million times, and that's not a complaint. It's the best possible body right now for Wolverine as far as the height and the stockiness. But this is how he is with this 5-pack. shirtless, and he's in the mustard and brown costume. Obviously, just the leggings and the shorts, and he's got the red belt with the gold or mustard colored buckle, and of course he's got those claws. And here's Wolverine with closed-fisted hands with claws retracted. Here we are taking a look at his head sculpt. This is the head sculpt that was on him in packaging. This is his angry look, I guess. And here's Logan with his beat up look. And that's a good time to segue into going over the detail. So as you can see, he just got out of a scrap, and he's got the wounds and the scrape marks on his face to show it. But it also continues on to, if you can see that, he's got scratch marks on his chest there. I don't know if it's actually showing well on camera, but right there he's got scratch marks. And if you look on his left arm, he's got scratch mark there, and you see they did some good detail with the hair. He doesn't have any scratch marks on his right arm, but he's got good paint apps in terms of how hairy he is. And here's a good treat right here. I don't think we've ever seen this. He's got Logan's got a hairy back right there. Yep. So that was pretty good. Most of the time Hasbro would not give us all of that type of detail. The hair goes all the way up into his neck area. That's cool. So yeah, Hasbro was pretty thorough with that. Pretty thorough. And as you can see, like I said, with his face, he's got a black eye. He's got scratches on the lip, on the side of his face, above his eye. He's got a couple scratches. Yeah, he's pretty beat up right here. So they did pretty well. Like I was saying before about the belt, you see that he's got they actually put paint apps on the buckle. I'm very happy about that. It's mustard colored, or gold if you will, and it's got the red belt, the brownie whiteys, I guess, the tidy brownies. Then of course you've got the mustard brown, and then his boots right there. He's got the standard articulation. I'm not going to go over the articulation. If you've seen any Wolverine reviews or own Wolverine yourself, it's the same articulation. And so I've got Wolvie standing back up again with his angry head sculpt on and his clawed hands back on. And you gotta ask yourself, why is he so angry? Why is he so angry? Oh, I think I know why. There we go. Sporting metal claws instead of those cheap plastic looking ones. Logan is much happier now. See, he's not as angry anymore. He's happy, or at least what passes for happy for him. Next up is Callisto, the leader or former leader of the Morlocks. She's on the same buck that Mohawk Storm is on. So we have Mohawk Storm here standing next to Callisto. You can see that it's the same exact buck. The only differences are paint apps. Storm is fully in black, whereas, as I stated earlier, Callisto's sporting the orange halter top, the spiked elbow bands, and the fingerless gloves. Other than that, they're the same exact buck. It should be noted that this is the way Storm appeared when she took down Callisto and took over as leader of the Morlocks. So there you have it. There's Mohawk Storm from the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave. Looking at Callisto's head sculpt, one thing of note is the blue hair with like black highlights. Let's see if I can get that so it's not blurry. Turn it around. Very nice detail. Like I said, it's got that. It's colored blue with a mixed blue and black in there. So I think that's pretty nice. Her face. She's got the scar on her right eye. The eye patch. So the only accessories that Callisto comes with are a pair of these C grip hands, their fingerless gloves also. The paint apps are pretty good on this. No sloppiness of the black, or they're molded in black and the fingers are painted actually, so they look pretty good. Next we have, she comes with two knives, one standard switchblade, and the paint app on this is pretty good, pretty clean. Her other knife is an old school butterfly knife, extended, and this is just molded in a silver plastic, and that's it as far as accessories go. And here's how Callisto looks wielding her knives. I kind of wish that one of her hands had the vertical hinge, but this is what we got. Still looks pretty cool. A word of warning: when you switch her hands, keep in mind that her wristbands are separate pieces and you can easily lose them in the carpet, especially if it's a darker colored carpet. So just an FYI for you. Something of note when it comes to Callisto's halter top, as you can see, the way it's painted, this isn't slop, this is, it's supposed to be torn. So that's some good attention to detail on Hasbro's part. And it's only in the front, as in contrast with Storm, the bottom of her halter isn't jagged or raggedy at all. It's nice and smooth. Next up is Jason Wingard, aka Mastermind. Strangely enough, as I stated before, this is how he comes out of the packaging, with the Mastermind head, which is funny because he never wore this outfit, with this particular face. I believe even when he got his brain fried by Jean Grey and he reverted back to that head, he was in his original attire. I'll have to look that up. Somebody, if you already know, check me on that. But I don't think that he was wearing this garb at all. But I could be wrong. Anyway, this is how he came out of the packaging. It's the same buck as the previous Alexander Pierce and Sebastian Shaw, different paint apps. That's about it as far as the differences. Who else also? I believe Marlon from the Spider-Man No Way Home wave is on this buck. Might be some differences, subtle changes they may have made. I haven't gotten to that yet. I've got it, but I haven't opened those. I haven't opened that case yet, so I couldn't tell you myself. Anyhow, this is the way how Mastermind comes out of the box, and this is the way that we know Jason Wingard as. That's the Jason Wingard head sculpt. I know this is how he's going to get displayed in my Hellfire Club setup, but as you can see, it's a totally distinct difference with the Jason Wingard head sculpt and the Mastermind head sculpt. What they need to do, we need to have a body that actually suits the Mastermind head sculpt. But I don't know if we're going to get that anytime soon. So what we have here is Sebastian Shaw. He's so arrogant he won't even stand up for the review. So he's there cooling with his glass of cognac and a good book, if you will. But anyway, you can see the similarities in attire. So there were no real changes, just different colors. Wingard or Mastermind, his jacket and pants, trousers are all black, and his vest is a vibrant red, whereas Shaw's is a little bit more reserved. But other than that, and their sleeves, their frilly sleeves. Wingard sleeves are that bright red, whereas Shaw's, his sleeves are that grayish white. And the other differences I can see are the buckles on their shoes. Wingard's shoes are silver, the buckles, and Shaw's are gold. The same thing with the adornments or buttons or whatever you want to call them on their jackets. Wingard's are silver, or they're supposed to mimic silver, and Shaw's are once again gold. They're what are those called? Are those cummerbunds? Wingard's is a little bit brighter than Shaw's. Shaw's is kind of grayish. And the same thing with their socks. So other than that, it's the same body. And now we've got our complete match. We've got Jean Grey as she appeared when she was under the thrall of Mastermind, aka Jason Wingard. I had the Celine head on my display all this time because I didn't think it made any sense to have Jean appear this way with no Jason Wingard. But now that we have Jason, this is how it's going to be displayed. And now I'm on the hunt for another body for my Celine. Since I know most did not get the Hellfire Club set, which was a Comic-Con, or I should say it was a Hasbro PulseCon. It was supposed to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but because of the you-know-what, that never came to being. So Hasbro did their own event and called it PulseCon, and that's what the Hellfire Club was promoted as such. So I know a lot of people didn't get an opportunity to get that. So I will go over the articulation now, especially since that Spidey Wave isn't out everywhere yet. So most don't have Marlin to get an idea of what the articulation is. So here we go. The head, I already run into the issues. The cummerbund, if that's what it is, somebody correct me. I might be having that wrong. It rotates. He can look down because of the cummerbund. I'm going to go with that. I hope I've got that right. Is impeding. He can only look down that much. He can look up that much. His arms can go out basically 90 degrees. He has shoulder rotation 360, bicep rotation 360, double jointed elbows. His wrists swivel. There's a hinge there, but the frilly sleeves impede it a little bit. You can definitely go up. Down, not so much. His torso articulation is basically non-existent because of the vest. He can go some, not much, just that much. He can go back about that much. He does have wrist rotation. He can do the splits that much. He's got thigh rotation, double jointed knees. He has rotation where the socks meet the trousers. He has articulation with the feet. He can point his toe that far down, that far up, and he has ankle pivot holes on the bottom of his feet. And so there we have Jason Wingard, aka Mastermind. All we're missing now from the Hellfire Club is Leland as far as the inner circle is concerned, but we could also include Tessa, who we all know today as Sage. Be cool if we got those two. Up next is Arkady Rosevich, aka Omega Red. This is basically just a repaint to make the character look more comic book accurate. For one, the skin is a little more chalky white, but there are other differences that differentiate it from the original release. So here we have both versions side by side, so you can clearly see the differences. Like I said, they were with the Wolverine 5-pack version, they wanted to make it a bit more comic book accurate. So what you have here is the Omega symbol on his headband on the newer version is painted in, whereas there's no contrasting paint on the Sarin Wave version. You can tell, look at the how vibrant the red is on the 5-pack version and how dark it is on the Sarin Wave version. The Sarin Wave version, the ornaments that are on his jaws leading to his mouth, those are painted, whereas on the newer version there is no paint there. If you look at the shoulder pads, the newer version, the shoulder pads are that same vibrant red, but they're adorned by silver, whereas on the Sarin Wave version it's adorned by the color there is a little bit more gray, looks more plastic light, and of course it's a darker red. You can see that the newer version, the skin on the newer version is a little bit chalkier as far as the white is concerned. The vest on the newer version is a white. I was looking for a second because it almost looked transparent right there, but yeah, it's basically white, whereas on the older version it's that same gray as on the shoulder pads. The grenades, if that's what they are, on the vests on the newer version, you see that they're painted, the top 4 painted silver with some red in the centers, and the bottom 6 are like this gunmetal gray, whereas on the older version the top 4 are the same color gray as the gray that are on the perimeters of the shoulder pads, and the 6 on the bottom are the same gray as the harness and those shoulder pads, but they're painted red in their center. Another difference is the outer pads on his gloves on the new one is just a kind of a silver. There's no Omega symbol on it at all, whereas the older version is also silver, but it has painted Omega symbol. I think I like that better. It's pretty cool. I'll have to check my comic books to see if the newer version is more accurate or not. Going down to the boots, as you can see on the newer version, the boots are a chalky white. In fact, they're similar in color to the older version's skin tone, and the centers of the, we'll call them knee pads, are painted red, whereas on the older version The knee pads are painted silver, and the centers of the pads are red, same color as the rest of the bottom of the legs. So there you have those basic differences with Arkady Rosevich. As far as accessories go, Rosevich comes with an additional head sculpt, and this is basically the same head sculpt as the original. Only difference is, of course, the paint apps once again. But you can clearly see I was mistaken on the last one. He actually does have the whatever those jawline things are. They are sculpted in the head sculpt. They just aren't painted, or they actually are painted. It's not that I'm looking. I don't know if you can see in there, but they've got a little bit of silver paint to them. So that's basically the difference. Once again, the Omega symbol is painted unlike the original. Omega Red also comes with these partially retracted tentacles or carbonadium coils. He refers to them as coils. So he does have these partially retracted ones and these elongated ones. They're not bendy, but they are already sculpted to be able to enwrap adversaries, or in this case we're talking about Wolverine. So that's pretty cool. Here's the other difference between the 5-pack version and the Soaring Wave version. The Soaring Wave version is on our right as we're looking at it, and as you can see, it was molded in a silver colored plastic, whereas once again the 5-pack version is all white, and that is how he's been portrayed both in the comics and I believe on the cartoon as well, the 90s cartoon. So that's those are his coils. Here's Rosevich with his partially retracted tentacles, and here he is with his coils fully extended. And here's how he looks wrapping Wolvie up. And finally, bringing up the rear, we have Cyber, and he's another new character that we get. I have to admit, even though they're repaints, I'm always happy to get new characters. So having Jason Wingard, Mastermind, and Callisto, as well as Cyber, welcome additions. His mask is this kind of metallic blue with there's a different shade of blue at the top of his crown. His eyes are painted a silvery kind of white. His scowl is looks pretty good. The paint looks pretty clean. The line work is great. Going down, he's got that same blue and the different shading. I love that. The same thing goes if you look to the back. He's got that shading around his neck and deltoids. Is that what they're called? I'm all messed up there. But anyway, you can see that difference going down. He's got that same blue, and the blue is kind of metallic there, and the shade changes on the interior. So I'm loving the paint apps on Cyber. His arms, they're molded in that silver plastic similar to Cyclops, and he's got clawed hands. As far as his articulation, his head can look up that far, look down that far, 360. His arms go out about that far, almost 90. He's got shoulder rotation, 360, bicep swivel, 360, single jointed elbows. He only gets about maybe 75, 80 degrees in that. He's got a wrist hinge, and They go in and out horizontally. His ab crunch, he can go, get that out the way. He can lean forward that far back. He's got waist rotation. He can go out that far with his splits. He's got thigh rotation, double jointed knees. His ankles, he can point his toe that far down, that far up pretty good, and he's got ankle pivot. It should be noted that Cyber shares the same body mold that's on Omega Red. So to sum it all up, the Marvel Legends Amazon exclusive Wolverine 5-pack is a great set to have. It comes with new characters. You've got Jason Wingard, you've got Callisto, and you've got Cyber. And yes, you have a repaint of Omega Red, and of course, yet another Wolverine. That's usually what kind of sort of turns people off, because it's yet another Wolverine, but you had to get Wolverine in order to get these other 4 characters, and I think it's worth it. We don't have a Wolverine that's shirtless, so you know they can keep going and find other iterations of Logan to stick in some kind of pack. The paint apps on all of the figures are spot on. I think they look very good, especially Cyber. I love that blue on Cyber. Jason Wingard, aka Mastermind. I still find it trippy that it came with the original Mastermind head, and when it doesn't even suit that body, but hey, it is what it is. We'll take an additional head sculpt where we can find it. Arky Rosovich, aka Omega Red, is more accurate to his comic book appearance. Callisto looks great. The blue hair, the wash in the hair looks great, and Wolverine, he looks great too. I mean, he may be another Wolverine, but hey, the hair, the scars on the other head sculpt, the scars he's got on his chest, spot on. He's got hair on his back. It's pretty good. And when you add those metal claws, you can't lose. So all in all, I think it's a worthwhile pickup. I know I'm enjoying it, and I'm sure you guys will too. So anyhow, thanks for joining me on this overview of the Wolverine 5-pack, the Amazon exclusive by Marvel Legends. Please remember to like and subscribe and smash that bell so you can be notified when I upload another video. Until next time, my peeps, remember, the hunt continues. And I'm out. Peace.